Hello and welcome to the Afrocentric Woman. I am going to be doing a little bit of a story time and a chit chat to let y'all know how my date went yesterday. It didn't go good. I mean, it was good at the beginning, but it ended in a very strange and weird way. Um, and I figured, you know what? Like the whole point of documenting all this stuff is to share the good, bad, and the ugly and the amazing. I don't Clearly, I'm not one of those people who cares about coming online and creating some type of fake persona or whatever. Um, those people that kind of curate a perfect life, like everything is just so great. Um, I don't know. I guess for some people, it may be aspirational. For me, I have a hard time connecting with that because it just seems so inauthentic. Because truthfully, there's just ups and downs in life and there's not a clear path. It's not like not everything is perfect and roses. All right, so I did a get ready with me like 2 weeks ago, and I was getting ready for this first date with this guy. And we went to the Italian restaurant. It was nice. Um, why don't I'll just kind of go through the whole story. I think I'll go through the whole story and then maybe I'll go back afterwards and I can kind of I'll kind of point out a few little orange flags, maybe not quite red flags, but definitely things that I was tucking away in the back of my mind, be like, I'll keep an eye on that. So we had this dinner and it was good. Then I did another video where I was like, I think I said date recap or something like that, and a chit chat. And I told you how the second date went. And the second date was kind of like a combination of date number two and date number three because we stayed downtown. Um, he got 2 rooms. We stayed downtown, and then the next day we had brunch, and we went to the spa and all of that. So, I kinda count that as date number 3. And so this was like date number 3/4. We went to dinner last night. I got there early, which is great because 'cause I'm always running late. So that's yay, that's, 2 thumbs up. What else? Then he arrived. We were at the bar for a little while they were getting our table ready. Then we go sit down, we have dinner. For the most part, it's fine. He works at a bank. I work in finance. So we're talking work, we're talking, you know, lending and like who are the players and some stuff he has going on at work and some stuff I have going on, but more so like what he has going on. Um, we're talking about that. We're laughing, joking. Um, I may have mentioned to you all that he and I talked about taking a trip to the Caribbean for my birthday. He offered. Well, I was just we were just talking about bucket list places that we wanted to go, and I told him a place that I'd like to go for my birthday, and he was like, "Oh, let's go for your birthday," which is literally next month. So that's it's pretty premature, but I haven't had a vacation in like 2 years, so I was open to the idea. Truly, I was. I was open to the idea. So, what was I saying? So he mentioned that our first date, and me being as excited as I am as to go, I started kind of doing some research, putting some things together, because that's one big regret that I have. The last guy I was dating, it had to been like maybe 2 years ago, because I know it wasn't last year. Maybe it was a year before that. Yes, it was. It was the year before that. So 2 years ago, um, he asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I said I want to go to a trip to this Caribbean country. And we started planning. Really, I started planning, and he was just kind of like dragging his feet and things like that. Ultimately, I did not get that trip. I wish I could run that back because there's some things I would handle differently. Now, for that trip, all of the things that I had researched, I did not document them, I did not write them down, and so it's just kinda like lost research. So starting this process again, I couldn't even remember the hotel that I had found. It was just like this perfect sweet spot. It was like a really, really nice hotel, but it was reasonably priced, or at least it was priced under some of the more expensive hotels in the area, but like still really, really nice and centrally located. I couldn't remember the name of the hotel for anything. And then some of the other things that I had looked up, like I had looked up ferry boats and I looked up chartering boat companies, all of these things, and I had saved none of it. And so this time around, I said, I'm not going to go through this again. Me being the realist that I am, I know that men say all kinds of shit out of their mouths that they have absolutely no intentions of doing. They are compulsive future fakers and compulsive, you know, I don't know. They just say anything to like get to the next thing that they're trying to do, right? So I've got, one foot in this, we're going to do this trip, and I've got a foot out, like, this is not happening, and this guy's just blowing smoke. But I said, I'm going to go on this trip. I don't know if it's going to be with this guy, if it's going to be a girls' trip, if it's going to be a solo trip. I don't know what this is going to, I'm going on this trip eventually. I don't know when and I don't know how, but I'm going to go. So I'm compiling all of my travel research in an area, all the painstaking research that I'm doing. Like I'm literally looking for like stores on the island that sells shoes in my size because I have very long feet. Um, and so it's hard for me to find shoes. And so I'm looking up specific stores that sell my size, and I'm looking up specific stores where they have like resort wear that like I would like, and that they sell linen and silks and things like that. So all of this stuff I'm documenting down. I'm documenting down where I want to go to dinner, lunch, different beach clubs, different boat services, all of these things I'm looking up, and also airlines. What are the best airlines to get there? Because this is in the Eastern Caribbean, and not everybody flies out that way. So I found some really great flights, options and routes that I hadn't considered before. That would be pretty efficient in arriving, and I'm saving all of that information down. Okay, so we're at dinner, we're talking, it's going great. I was thinking today's Thursday, I've got to go to work tomorrow. I'll just do a glass or two of wine. This is guy, like, he always wants to buy bottles. Like, he bought a bottle our first night. He bought, where else did he buy a bottle? Da, 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 da. I don't remember. Um, did he buy a bottle? No, he just bought, well, they had a bottle of champagne like when I checked into the room. So I don't know if that just came with the package or if he got that separately. I really don't remember. Um, because we did a tasting at the restaurant where they brought us different um they brought us different wines and champagne and dessert wines and liqueurs and whatnot based off of what we were eating. So he bought a bottle of wine that first night. Then this time he's like, no, 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 buy the bottle. It's better. It's you end up it's better. Save or whatever. I'm like, no, I really don't need a bottle. Like he's like, no, 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 please get the bottle. Like, okay, I ordered a bottle of wine. I picked it out, and we're still chatting, and they're just pouring, 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 and that's kind of like where that's where I think that the things weren't the best for me. I'm already tired. It's in the middle of the week, and it's like I really would wanted like a glass or two of wine. I really didn't want to split a bottle of wine because like I'm more of a wine drinker. He has a cocktail. When I got there, I ordered a mocktail because I already knew that I was going to have wine with dinner. So I did not order a regular cocktail. I just ordered a mocktail. So I could have something fizzy to drink and fit in at the bar. But that's kind of where I think things started not That was like definitely the crack in the foundation right there. Having people just like pour like the servers like going by and just like topping me off. And when you're talking and you're just kind of, or at least for me, I'm not cognizant that how much I'm drinking, right? I'm not cognizant of how much I'm drinking because I'm not the one ordering the wine and I'm not the one um pouring my own wine. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're talking and you're not really realizing and the server has already refilled the wine glass. That's kind of how the situation went. All right. So, but we're fine. We're talking. It's great. We're like, I have some extra time before I have to go get my daughter. I'm like, oh, let's go over to this lounge and have a drink and listen to music over there. So we walk across the plaza. We go to this lounge and it's fine at the beginning. Um, we sit down and they're like, "Oh, this table's reserved. Can you guys go to the bar?" It's fine. There were two seats at the bar. We go sit there and we're talking. This is where it really starts to go left. So he's okay, I'll let me get through this and then I'll go back. So he starts down this line of like, "Well, you're so beautiful. You really shouldn't be with a guy like me. I'm not, I know you really don't." Something like, "I know you really don't like me," or like, there's no reason for a woman like you to be into a guy like me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I like you." I mean, I didn't say that. I said, "Well, I'm only doing the things I want to do and I'm only going to be where I want to be and I am where I want to be right now." That I said something along those lines. Keep in mind I've had like a half a bottle of wine, but that's more or less what I said. So, so we're still talking. And he's just like, "Well, I work so hard at work and like I come home and like I don't know how in charge of the situation that I need to be." And he'd made some mention earlier that day about him putting women on a pedestal and like he definitely would put me on a pedestal, blah blah blah. And along those and now he's like, "Well, I basically like I'm not worthy of you," like along those lines. And this is such a hard like a tough situation because on one hand, it's a lot of emotional labor to continuously affirm a guy with low self-esteem or whatever his issues are. I don't know him well enough to know what his issues are. I don't know. But it's a lot of emotional labor to continuously like, "No, no, no, like I want to be here. Like, no, we're getting along." Um, okay, sorry. I'm like, who is that texting me? It's a place where I just ordered some food, asking me to rate the food. I ordered a Thai bowl. It came with chicken. I don't eat meat, so I just substituted it for tofu. Okay, that's a side note. All right, so we're at this bar and we're having this conversation, and it's just going down this path of like, woe is me, you know, I I don't deserve to be with you. You're too pretty, blah blah blah. And and then he's just like, "Well, I like you and you know that I like you." And I'm like, "I know. I'm so glad you like me because I like me too and we have that in common." I was kind of joking, but I'm kind of serious as well. That is true. You know, I do I do believe that. I was halfway joking though. And I'm like, "Yes, as long as you're obsessed with me and I'm obsessed with me, we're never ever going to have an issue in this relationship ever. Like there's never going to be a problem. I promise you, there will never be a problem." He's kind of laughing. He doesn't know if I'm serious or if I'm not serious. And um I'm trying to see how to explain this. Basically, he was kind of hinting at the fact that he prefers to be more of a submissive role in a relationship, in a roundabout way without kind of coming out and saying that. And I assume that's like a vulnerable thing. You're kind of putting yourself out there and you really don't know what how the other person is going to react to that. And I told him, I'm like, well, I'm we're just now getting to know each other. We are getting to know each other little by little. And I don't, I don't, I didn't want to know I was sensing some of that, but I figured I would just let everything play out and just see how it goes. I'm fine being, I'm fine exploring what that can look like. Um, I'm fine exploring what that can look like as long as I'm on a pedestal and you are obsessed with me. Then if you like me as much as I like me, I'm willing to explore this. I don't know. And I don't know, we were talking about something else and I asked him this question that really seemed to trigger him. I asked him, I said, "Well, what do you need to feel loved?" And he was like, "I don't know, like love is abstract. I just love makes me love." And I'm like, "I hear you. That's valid, but I'm asking you specifically, like, what do you need to feel loved? Like, what are things that make you feel experience love?" And he just kept answering kind of like very generally, like, love is love. I love love. And and then he just seemed to kind of start, I don't know, he just like a switch flipped. And then he was like, "You know what? We should just be friends." And I was just like, "Oh, oh my God, I forgot to tell y'all a very important part of the story, or maybe not so important, but something that happened." So at dinner, okay, so back up to that first date. No, 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 the second one at the tasting. He told them that that was our 1 year anniversary. That was our second date. So they had like an anniversary spread for us. They had a menu printed out with our names on it, happy first anniversary. And he just got such a hoot out of it. And it was just so weird because the conversation that we're having, like, I'm like, "Do you like to fish?" The kind of conversation that we're having is not of people that have been married for 1 year. So I felt really awkward every time our server would like come near us because we're having a conversation of people who are on their second date. We are not having a conversation of people who have been married for 1 year. So that's just like a little weird thing that he did. And I didn't know that he had done that until we were there. Well, actually I could have. I did not read the reservation. The reservation that he sent me, that he emailed to me, I looked at the bottom and it did say, "Are there any special occasions? You know, is there anything going on?" And he had written, he 1 year anniversary. I missed that. I totally missed that. So I didn't find out until we were at the restaurant. So they print the special menu for us. They roll it up and put a ribbon on it and da 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 da. He wants to take pictures. We take pictures. We forget the menu at the restaurant. We go on about our day. We go on to like two more places that night. The next day, we realized, "Oh my gosh, we forgot the menu." We asked the guy that worked downstairs, I don't know, the bellman slash multi-purpose guy. Oh my gosh, he was like, "Let me run up to the restaurant and see if I can find it." So he went to the restaurant, he couldn't find it, and there was nobody there that knew how to print it. It was only like the chef was there and a couple other people that they don't know how to print anything. And so they were like, "Well, you can come back and we'll make sure we get you one." And I never thought about it. We never talked about it again. Um, we moved on from that. And so at the restaurant, when the waiter brought this wrapped a box and set it on the table, and I'm like, "What is this?" And he's like, "I don't know what that is." And I thought it was another bottle of wine because I'd ordered a bottle of white wine. And they brought red, and I'm like, "I did not order red." And I didn't like the wine. When I first tasted the red wine, I was like, this is not what I want. Like, am I going crazy?" And I said, "Is it the gazin?" And he said, "It is." And I was like, "It doesn't say it on the bottle." "Oh, no, it's just they changed the package." This guy's telling me, do you know when someone is, like, explaining to you something that's just so not what it is, and they just, like, 10 toes down in what they're saying, and I'm like, "That's not what I ordered. That doesn't say Gazin on the package." He's like, "They changed the package, but that's what this is." And I'm like, mm." And he's like and I'm like, "I don't know, like, if I felt bad if I ordered this, which I don't think I did, and I don't want this wine. I don't like testing, testing, testing." Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know when my audio cut out. Does anybody know where I was? Because 'Cause I'm just running my mouth. Does anybody know where I was in the story when you couldn't hear me anymore? Could you please type it in the chat? Because I was telling you about the wine that I ordered. I'm trying to tell you about this wrapped present that ends up on the table. I have no idea when my audio stopped. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna start back with the wine. So I ordered what I thought was a bottle of white wine. The waiter comes back with red wine and pours it. I don't like it. And I'm going back and forth with him like, "That's not what I ordered." He's like, "Yes, it is." And I'm like, no, it's not Gazin." He's like, "Oh, they changed the package." And I read the package. I'm like, "Now, I only know I know a handful of words in French, but I can make out there's no Gazin on this bottle. I am telling you that." No audio? Testing. Is there audio now? Testing. See, can you hear me? Testing, testing, testing. Okay, I hear the audio. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I hear the audio. Okay, so he's like, "No, bring her the menu, let her order." And Yvette's like, when my audio went out, do you know like where I was? Because I hope I didn't like miss some of the story. So, but I need to hurry up because my daughter's about to come home. Okay, cool, perfect. No, okay, perfect. So, um, so he says, "Please bring her the menu. Don't worry, we'll buy this bottle." He didn't want to get the waiter in trouble. So he's like, "That's okay." He's like, "We'll take this bottle, just cork it and bag it up. I'll get this bottle and get the lady what she wants." Um, so instead of him bringing the menu, he brings the original bottle that I ordered. It was a white from Bordeaux. I'm not crazy. I know what I ordered. So he pours the wine. It is exquisite as I had imagined it to be. So blah blah blah. We get to the end of the dinner. Oh, but did you hear me telling you about the menu with the first place and the first anniversary, all of that nonsense? Because that's important part of the story. So the menu, okay, so this gift ends up getting on the server brings this box and I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, "I don't know what that is." And I thought that the server had like wrapped up that bottle of wine that I sent back. I thought he corked it up and like put it in this package. I'm like, "Oh, maybe it's the wine." He's like, "I don't know. Open it up. Open it up. Let's see. Let's see." And I'm like, "Okay." I just sit it to the side. I was like, "I'll open it later." He's like, "No, no, no. Open it up now." So I open up the box and it was the menu from date number 2, that menu that they made of our name, "Happy First Anniversary," which keep in mind that was our 2nd date. "Happy First Anniversary." He had framed that and wrapped it. He did a pretty good job for a guy. I mean, he did a good job for a guy. He put a bow on it, he wrapped it, and it's like, "Oh, this is so sweet. Thank you so much. This is very thoughtful." Um, it's not always about the money. It's about, I think, also the energy and the thought and the execution. Um, because for me, I feel like there's something to work with that. Like if a guy is willing to put forth some thought and energy, because he had to go all the way downtown to get that from the restaurant, at a time. Um, so this is what we're going to do since my little one is here. I'm gonna do a part 2, and I'm gonna finish this. So, I'm gonna love and leave you here, but thank you so much for tuning in, and I will be back with part 2.